A federal judge ruling the NSA's program to collect data on every call in the U.S. is unconstitutional and a violation of the Fourth Amendment. But the White House claims it stops terrorism. So what is their plan now? Here to explain is Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Elizabeth. I wish their plan were to follow the Constitution, but that's not always their game plan.
Specifically the Fourth Amendment.
Yes, specifically the Fourth Amendment, which says when the government wants information about anybody for any reason, it has to, and wants to spy on anybody for any reason. It could be a bank robber planning a bank robbery or a terrorist planning a terrorist act. The government has to present some evidence about that person to a judge, and the judge signs a warrant to spy on that person. What the NSA has done is, hey, judge, somebody's having a phone call in area code, and they'll give the area code. Can you give us a warrant to listen to all the phone calls in that area code? Now, judges are not supposed to do that, but some judges on the FISA court have. And yesterday, a federal judge said this is unconstitutional and has to stop.
And the judge also said that he couldn't find a case, correct me if I'm wrong, where collecting that information led to keeping us safe. Is that right?
The NSA was unable or chose not to demonstrate to this federal judge that the massive data mining, the getting all the phone calls of everybody in a geographic area whether there's evidence against them or not, actually helped keep the country safe. So not only is this unconstitutional because it violates the Fourth Amendment, not only is this wrong because it permits the government to listen to all phone calls and keep copies of them forever, but there isn't even any evidence that it works.
What does this mean for surveillance going forward, though?
Actually, for the time being, nothing, because this judge stopped the effect of his order until it can be appealed to a higher court. He knows that eventually this will go to the Supreme Court of the United States. But the NSA is not ordered to change its ways unless and until a higher court upholds what this judge, a George W. Bush appointee, did yesterday.
2002 appointee, right?
Yes.
Now, if I'm the NSA, I'm thinking, well, in the meantime, I'm going to get as much information as possible right now. Would you assume that would be the case?
I don't know that the NSA will do anything differently, Elizabeth. This is a scathing opinion in which this judge accused the NSA of misleading him and other judges. And he actually quotes other judges in this opinion, harshly criticizing the NSA for not being truthful and candid with it. So the NSA is probably reeling, but I don't think they will change their plans unless and until a higher court tells them to. Now, I believe this will go to the Supreme Court because the federal judge yesterday basically criticized two old Supreme Court opinions that the NSA is relying on, saying, you know what, those opinions were written in the pre-cell phone era. In the era when those phones were written, there were 76 million landlines. Do you know how many cell phones there are in the United States today?
How many?
380 million.
A lot of
There's only 310 million Americans. How many do you have?
Phones?
Well, Kilmeade's got 5.
I have one phone right now. One that I can keep track of anyway. The others they keep track of at the NSA. We have a quote from the judge. I just want to read everyone. Quote, Judge Richard Leon said, the government does not cite a single case in which analysis of the NSA's bulk metadata collection actually stopped an imminent terrorist attack. I cannot imagine a more indiscriminate and arbitrary invasion than the systematic and high-tech collection and retention of personal data on virtually every single citizen for purposes of querying it and analyzing it without judicial approval.
It is startling to me that the NSA was not able to demonstrate any success because its whole argument before Congress and in the public arena has been, we have kept you safe, we have kept you safe, we have kept you safe. Now, my argument is that the government has to keep us free and safe. If it keeps us safe but not free, it's not doing its job. But they haven't even been able to demonstrate to this judge an instance in which this has worked and that has kept us safe.
But it doesn't mean there isn't one.
No, it doesn't mean there's one. But it's mystifying as to why they wouldn't have found one or wouldn't have told him about one.
I'm curious now, Judge.
This is going to keep going on, Elizabeth. Always a pleasure.